Hi, guys, and welcome to one of my first podcasts slash thought processes. Not really sure how to call this thing that I'm about to do. It's basically the first time I'm doing something like that. I just want to, just post this little videos that I do, like recordings of some sketches, some doodling that I do, and just give my little thought process on the background. Just going to talk about different subjects relative to art, not necessarily relative to art. Something just we're gonna just try to have some time to try to discuss something. We will see how it will go. So first video, what I want to do really is just talk about like something that is actually close related to art, or just like creative processes in general. Basically, motivation that stands behind it, just the actual motivation process that stands behind every single creative process that we have. Because so like not all of us right now who are doing creative content are doing it full time at the moment. Yeah, I would say that probably is the minority of the people, even that we're living right now in this kind of like a digital era where there's a lot of like streamers, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of TikTokers, Instagrammers, whatever, people who basically do it as a full-time job. I would say that still the majority of us are working on the other professions that are not necessarily are tied up to what we want to do with our life full time, right? So basically, like me, for instance, right now at the moment, I'm working in the hospitality in a coffee shop in particular. So but I'm trying to do like different creative hobbies that I have. I'm trying to be an artist, I'm trying to be a musician, I'm trying to be a writer. I used to even like develop my video games back in the day when I was like a 17, 18-year-old. So it's like trying just to escape that mundane day-to-day stable profession, right, without like any creative potential that we have right now, and just to go somewhere where we actually like to do, whether it's related to art, related to video games, related to whatnot, and the way how to keep yourself still doing that, even though that we all know that like we are basically working towards like a big goal, working towards something, right? Like, and always like in the back of my mind runs this thought process that like, okay, so for example, like every time I feel like I don't want to really, I'm tired, or I don't really want to do anything, I feel like, oh, maybe today is just a day where I have to like keep it slow, I have to slow it down, I'll just probably just go and play some video games or whatnot, just watch some anime, some YouTube, watch a movie, that's just like just put the drawing on a back drawer for today, and I'm kind of like having like this little mental debate inside my mind, because I'm thinking to myself like, right, so if I will stop doing it right now, I will take a step backwards towards the goal that I'm working towards, so I'm not gonna actually keep myself closer, get myself close towards that goal. So what I'm gonna do is try to force myself to start doing something, because like what I've learned with the experience with age, that it's all the resistance that you have, the resistance that your brain gives you, it doesn't really last that long. It doesn't really last longer than 5 minutes of the process, because the resistance basically, what is it? Is it like just laziness? Is it just like you just don't want, you feel tired, or is it something else like subvert under it? Is it something else disguised as a laziness? Probably there is. Yeah, probably there is more than that, because most likely talking about art in particular, it's like you are just over analyzing your art. You just don't really see the improvement over the short period of time. And talking about like art, for example, even like a 3-4 months is a short period of time, because like the improvement, basically you will see maybe like dramatical improvement that you can say that, oh man, like I can see the big difference between my art if you constantly keep doing it for about a year, maybe even a year and a half, 2 years. It all depends like what is your actual learning process, what actually are you doing to learn and to practice your art, because some of the techniques they will affect your improvement in a faster way, the others not so much. So like on those days that when you're feeling like you don't really want to do much things today, you know, you don't really want to move around and do any art today, you know, you feel like, oh man, I just had like a crazy like 8-hour shift at work, you know, and my manager was on my ass all the time. The customers were just like unreasonably annoying, you know. I had like people complaining about this and that. I had like some spillages, I had like some drama with the colleagues, you know. And I'm coming back home, I need to cook my dinner, I need to do my exercises, I need to take a shower. Right, would be nice if I will find like time to go outside and have a little walk, because for me it's actually kind of resets my mind a little bit. And then I'm doing meditations as well. At the moment, just only in the evening, I cannot really do any morning meditations, although I'm kind of like working towards it. So it's just like, I feel like, oh, okay, so I don't really, you know, out of all those activities, I feel like I don't really want to like sit down today and do any sketches. Yeah, I just like feel resistance towards it. But if I will push that barrier, push through the barrier, if I will still do it, if I will still get started, then the resistance will go away after 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, honestly. And the thing about your brain, that the more you force yourself to do those activities that you kind of like don't want to do in the first place, the less resistant you are towards it next time. So it's just like a certain region of your brain. To be honest, even in general, your brain is also like, in a way, is like a muscle, right? It's like if you go to gym and you train your muscle, you train your biceps, you train your back, your legs or whatever, any kind of muscle, right? At some point, you will. The muscle will be bigger, you know. The weight that you're taking today, it will be just too light for you. You will just feel like, oh man, I just need to add a couple of extra weights on the bar because this one just feels too light. And it's the same with the brain, you know. The more you start to think analytically, the easier for you is to think analytically next time. And obviously this process is like a slow, gradual process. It's not going to happen like overnight. That today, for example, you felt resistance to start to do the push-ups, or like just to go outside and start jogging, or like to or like to start working on your creative goals. Like, for example, you wanted to become a musician, you wanted to learn how to play guitar, but you felt like today I'm just too lazy for it, right? So the more if you will force yourself to do it, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you're not gonna feel it. You will also feel it, right? But like our brain, it loves small but repetitive activities, you know, like those little patterns. And according to scientific research, this is one of the only ways how we can basically create like a certain behavioral habitual, you can say, even environment in the brain, where to make your brain, to force your brain to get used to something. It's not like trying to do like a long-term long hour effects, like 8 hours doing something. It's just like half an hour doing something, 20 minutes doing something, but doing it constantly, doing it every day. In that case, after like a certain period of time, usually there is like a 3-week cycle, 3-month cycle, and a 3-year cycle. This is like when you see like those big milestones of the results, right? So if the first is 3-week cycle, where you're the first wall of resistance is falling down, so you start doing like everyday drawing activity. For example, you do like image researches, right? For example, let's say that you're studying how to draw hands, you know. So what you do every day for 20 minutes, you go online, you find different pictures of hands, you study them, you draw them, you find the artist that you like, how he's drawing hands, you study his artwork, you try to copy it, you do that. So you do that for every day for 3 weeks. On the end of the 3rd week, you will see, it doesn't mean that you're gonna draw hands better by the end of the 3rd week, but you will have less resistance doing that, you know. You will already get that little habit going in your head, you know. And then on the end of the third month, you will see that if you are not doing it, for example, if you kind of decided to delay it or to skip it, you will feel like, oh wait, what's going on? Like something is missing, man. I feel like I haven't done something today. And especially that's really valuable if you will create like a certain timetable for yourself. Because for me personally, I find it really hard to organize my life, organize my daily schedule on a timetable, because I feel like unnecessary stress. I feel like I'm at work when I'm at home, and I don't really want to feel like always tensed and always tied up. I don't want to always have like a level of cortisol spiking up in my body, because at the end of the day, our hobbies are there for us to relax, for us to have fun, not for us to just torture ourselves with some deadlines and everything. When you will be doing your hobby as the full-time job already, in that case, yeah, we can talk about it like that, So you have to like keep yourself organized. But ideally, even like getting there also, that will actually, first of all, that will be easier for you to get used to the certain schedule, right? So when you are at home, you also kind of like schedule your life. But for me, maybe it's just because, I don't know, it's just because I'm just a certain type of person that if I will plan myself a schedule for tomorrow, like I will get out of my skin, but just try to avoid that schedule. It's just the way that I'm designed. I have no idea why I'm like that. Yeah, but if I will give myself a thematic day, for example, I will say to myself like, right, so tomorrow I will have a day when I will be doing art, for example, right? Or I'll be doing like in particular like digital art. So right now, for example, I'm trying to learn both digital, as I got myself recently like a little drawing tablet, like Wacom tablet, and I'm just trying to get myself into learning like a studio. I'm using Clip Studio Paint, and just need to learn all the functionality of it, all the tools it offers and everything, and even just like the way you are using the stylus is really different from a traditional pencil and paper and like fine liners, and even like I could say it's something like you can compare like going from sketching to painting, right? So it's like a different type of skill. So for me, I'm doing that like for not that long, so just like couple of months only, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 months, and I'm always like procrastinating with it, putting it down, because I feel like I'm not really enjoying it as much as I would do when I will just take like a regular pen and pencil and just start sketching and doodling like that, even though, like, for example, I was going recently, I designed myself like together with AI, designed like a little 30-day course of learning just fundamentals, just like learning fucking values and shadows and volumes of a basic geometrical figures like spheres and cylinders and cubes. And that was I was doing for 30 days, and basically I was coming from work, right? I was doing like all my other routines, and I felt like, right, so now I have time to do something, to draw, and I really wanted just to draw like some characters, because me personally, I always like to draw just some characters, right? Like even like drawing just some backgrounds for them. For me, it's not really fun. Doesn't give me that as much fun as just designing the character itself, because like whenever I'm creating a character, I at the same time I create like a story about them in the back of my mind. It's just I'm thinking like, okay, so what's the character's character? What's his motivations and everything? What kind of world he's living? Like, so it's just like my brain is working like that. And if I'm just working on a background, it's also there can be some kind of stories coming up with, like, for example, like what kind of action is happening there? What is this background is related to? What kind of story can be happening in this place? But for me, it's a bit less fun, I would say. and I had to force myself. To do that. Like there was a period of time when I was just doing only that. I just got myself a sketchbook, and I said like, right, so this is the sketchbook when I will just do only the backgrounds, nothing else, right? So, and then I ended up just not taking it with me that much, So, and I said like, okay, so listen, you're cheating yourself, man. So what you need to do, you just need to just don't do any character design, just do the background only. And I was doing that, and of course I did some cheat days when I was like, okay, I just want to design some characters, and I did it anyway. But like on a regular daily basis, I try to stick to the routine I have. And the thing about it, that when I was doing the background, I couldn't do it more than 2 weeks, because I didn't really have that system organized for me, like that kind of motivational bypassing system. Why am I saying bypassing? Because it's kind of like you are. Because like, okay, let's talk about something else. I'm going to just go sidetracked here a little bit, not going to finish what I wanted to say, but I'll come back to it anyway. So it's like people say that motivation, people waiting for the motivation to start doing something. I have like a friend also doing he's doing some music, he's a musician, and sometimes he's just saying to me, like, I said, so yo bro, how's going on with your music? Like, did you do any beats or anything like that? And he's like, nah man, listen, I haven't done much anything these days. I'm just not really motivated. I don't have like inspiration. And there's a lot of people, they're talking like this. And you see this, I believe that this is the trap, because if you will wait for motivation, like you never know when it's gonna come, because this is like so unpredictable, so unexpected, because you can get inspired like by somebody saying something completely unrelated to your art, or you can just get like inspired by something else, and which will divert your attention to another era, like maybe like another like a video game that you've been waiting for a long time just came out, and you start playing it, and you just got like sucked into it, and that's it. Just forget about everything else, right? So it's a bit weird to wait for the inspiration to come. So what we have to do, we have to create the inspiration ourselves. How we do that? How do we create the motivation and the inspiration? It just comes only on the during the moment, during the process, when the process starts. So it never comes before the process. Sometimes it comes, but it's like you shouldn't really wait for it. It is better if you just start the process, and then the motivation will come. And then, because let's be honest, right? Everything that you do constantly, right, consistently, you will get better at it at some point, right? If you just like start doing something, of course, unless you're like really talented towards this, it will not really work out for you. It's going to be like really bad. You start drawing the first month, the first couple of months in your life, your drawings will look like shit. Will look like a 3-year-old trying to draw something, and you will be looking at your drawings. You're not going to get motivated. You'll be inspired. You'll be inspired rather than inspired, right? But if you are, for example, like me, if you have like a little bit already a basis, a foundation, and your drawings doesn't really look that bad, and you're still doing them constantly, right? Like you are still getting better and better and better anyway, and of course you will have days that your drawings will look like shit anyway, because you still don't have enough experience to provide that consistency, right? So you cannot really produce like a good quality consistent art. Maybe you can produce a good quality art, but not like a consistent good quality art, right? So, and this is why you need those mileages, you need those hours of doing the thing, of practicing until you will get there, right? So it's just like getting started, getting that kickstart. You start doing it, you will feel like, all right, well, look at that, actually, I feel like something is going on, something is happening, maybe I'm gonna keep doing it, maybe I need to go home. And you ended up like having an amazing fucking artwork, right? And even if it comes the other way around, even if you start doing something and you feel like it's not really going anywhere, it just looks like shit. Yeah, it's like that. This is the thing where you shouldn't really like discourage yourself, and you just say like, okay, so let me try to start something else. So this one didn't work out right now. Let me try to draw something else. Ideally, you would have to like analyze it and break it down and see like what exactly did you go wrong. But what I noticed, at least for me personally, like on that moment where you feel a bit emotional, where you feel a bit upset, is not really the moment when you want to analyze yourself, because first of all, you are not gonna see the things clearly, right? And then maybe you will just like kind of like be too harsh on yourself. You'll be like, I'm just fucking, my hands are growing from my anus, bro. I just cannot fucking do nothing right. You're gonna say stuff like that, which is really bad for yourself in general, psychologically. You should never like talk to yourself like that, right? And in particularly, it's also bad because you are just demotivating yourself from continuing, from getting better. Because like getting better, it's all about making those mistakes. Because if you never make the mistake, you will never like learn anything, right? You will never actually get out of your skin to find out how to not to make the mistake, how to make it right. So that's why, like on the days that you feel like that you don't really don't have that motivation, you just start doing it, man. You just like say like, all right, you know what, let me just draw like at least a 5-minute sketch. At least I'll just doodle something. If you study in hands, like what you usually do, what I usually do when I was studying hands, I have like a sketchbook. It's like an A5 sketchbook, right? So when a day I just try to fill it in with 2 pages with different poses of their hands, right? And on the days when I feel demotivated, I say to myself, right, I'm just gonna draw only one hand today, and then when I'm drawing that one hand, most likely I'm not gonna stop on this one, because even if it's just gonna come out like looking a little bit wonky or ugly or something, I'll be like, okay, you know what, I cannot really finish just on this ugly hand today, I need to draw something good before I'm gonna end my day. So I'm gonna try to draw another one next to it, and see if this one goes better. And it's like a friend of mine, he told me actually a similar thing about like exercises, when he said like, right, so if you don't want to really do push-ups, man, if you're like, bro, I don't really want to do even 20 push-ups, like I feel like I'm out of breath. I wasn't really working out for a long time. I'm kind of like out of shape and everything, then my stomach is gonna hurt, my hands is gonna hurt. I'm like working physically at the physical work where I actually need to have strong body with no pains, and he said like, bro, just don't do even 20, just do 1 push-up, just get started, get that kick start to your body, just do only 1. And it's like a psychological game for yourself, because when you doing a 1 push-up, everybody can do 1 push-up. Let's be honest. Like no matter how, unless you have some kind of problems with your health, in that case, like it's better you go to consult with your doctor and just see what you guys can do about it. Unless you have a disability or something like that. But like everybody can do a 1 push-up, man. 1 push-up is for babies, So you did that push-up, right? And your brain will tell you like, man, I can do more than that. Like, what is this? Yeah, I can do more than that. Yeah, let me see how much can I do. And you start to do another one, and another one, and another one, and you did 5, and you did 7, and it's already your hand starts to hurt. Like, okay, let me see if I can push it to 10. You push it to 10, and then you start to feel good about yourself. You be like, bro, I just wanted to do only 1, and look at me, I did 10 today. And like, if you talk to like somebody who's going to gym, and they probably they're gonna even laugh on your face. They're gonna be like, 10 push-ups, get out of my fucking face, man. What are you gonna do with 10 fucking push-ups? Never gonna have a chest like me with 10 push-ups, because for them, this is nothing. For them, they're forcing themselves to rip the body like apart, basically, to become as big as possible, right? But it's like for you personally, you should never first of all compare yourself with other people like that, because everybody has its own genre, everybody has its own tempo, everybody has its own pace, and even our bodies are different as well. Our brains are different also, just the way how we're working with them, just the way how we're interacting with them. It's all individual, because we can have like a common guidelines, like on a diet, for example, nutrition, on some exercises, on the techniques, how to do certain things, but like the results, everybody will have different results in a different time period. Like the end results will be the same. It's just like it depends how long different individuals will spend time to get to those results, right? So it's like depending for you. For example, if you set yourself a goal, like, all right, so I give myself 5 years. and in 5 years I need to hit like a professional level of comic book artist. I need to be drawing like Stan Lee in 5 years of time. Then it's not going to be the most easiest 5 years in your life, let me tell you that, my friend, because you will be stressing yourself like continuously, right? First of all, you have to design yourself like a really intense program. You need to be doing a lot of self-study. Especially if you're doing self-study, what I want to say, not self-study, but art study. You want to be doing a lot of art study, a lot of practicing, mileage, because there's so many aspects that you need to learn about, like drawing graphic novel in particular. Like there is a composition, framing, like basically you are a director but in a 2D environment, right? Then the actual drawing skills, technical skills, the character design, dynamic poses, the backgrounds, plus if you want to do everything on your own, the graphic novel, then you need to like work on your storytelling. But let's say you just want to learn only technical, just drawing part. Even that, like those people, they are professionals, they are pioneers basically of the comic book industry in general, and you want to hit the level that they have in just 5 years. It's just like a little bit unreasonable, right? If you just same like if you're gonna say that I wanna in 5 years I want to reach like Mike Tyson level of boxing, because like you might be like a professional boxer in 5 years. You might be if you really work hard on yourself, but you're not going to be Mike Tyson in 5 years, right? So, and is a trap that everyone is falling into, is especially like with art and music, with creative professions like that, is to over analyze other artists. Because for example, in art and maybe music also, but I know that in art for sure it's really helpful to study other people's art, because it's mandatory, I would say, because you basically see how the professionals are doing it. You see, like you try to find out not like what's the best way, but like what's the professional way. What's like this artist is doing that, what kind of lights he's doing, how he's working with the light, what kind of shapes he's using, what is his shape language. Then you see another artist and you see, oh, this guy's using completely different shape language, and you basically expand your horizon like that, and you are teaching yourself something, right? Because like we can just do those boxes, spheres, and conuses, and the fucking cylinders and everything, like all the geometrical shapes, and just draw those boxes and those shapes in a perspective, to learn the perspective, and then try to render them like using like hatching and everything, trying to learn the values and all that. So like learn all the fundamentals, right? It's just something that everybody needs to do, I think, at some point. To understand just like how the light work, how the 3D space work, in a 2D environment, how just basically how to draw basics, But then your next step is your style, your direction, your signature. It all depends on you, which direction you want to go. And just to get like a little bit of vocabulary, you need to learn the words from different artists, and it is really helpful to study the art of these people. This is what I do as well. I just like go to Instagram, I take the images of the artists that I like, I just screenshot it, I go to my tablet, when I try to trace over it, try to analyze it, try to break it down, try to see like, why did they do these lines? So like what makes the style that they have, how did they achieve that style? But what I really wanted to say is, it's and me, I'm doing that as well. I'm doing that all the time, honestly, right? It's trying not to fall into trap of comparing yourself with this artist, because like sometimes I'm seeing like artists like Lois, for example, right? I'm seeing like, oh my god, she's so talented, she's so good. I will never reach level of skill that she has, and this can discourage you. This will discourage you, and this will lead you to a wrong direction, because it doesn't really make much sense. Because first of all, that she's doing art already like for such a longer period of time than I am. So she's already much more experienced than I am, right? And she is like acknowledged industry artist, and you cannot really like, you are definitely not on her level, but it doesn't mean that you cannot reach something yourself. It doesn't mean that you cannot create a good art yourself, right? It doesn't mean anything like that. So like the only thing that you can do is to get inspired by those people, but don't get inspired, don't get like into the comparison phase, because like comparison phase with the constructed criticism, if you, for example, trying to learn from a certain artist, trying to create his style, and then you just basically break it down, compare it back to back, and break it down. What is the mistakes that you have? That's one thing. I'm talking about like motivational part of it. So it's like really important not to get unnecessary demotivations from just saying that I will never be as good as this guy, or as good as that girl. That this is just like really harmful for you. So just coming back to what I was telling before, it's just like fighting through resistance, because the way that our brain works is it always kind of like evaluates. It's just, man, it's fascinating. It's always like acting, like our entire body is acting as like an energy. It's trying to preserve as much energy as possible. So if it feels like doing the action doesn't really give any benefit for it, it will just preserve energy and will just make to do the action, right? It's like you, for example, like all we know this thing that your mom is asking you like, oh, can you please go like and go to a shop and get me some groceries, or like go on a backyard and just trim the lawn, right? And you feel like, man, you just sitting there playing video games or watching YouTube or just doing nothing, just doing fuck all, or drawing or like reading, you are stimulating your brain right now with dopamine, so you are getting some kind of benefit for the brain. And then you have to stop yourself from doing that. You have to go outside, you have to waste like physical energy doing it, and you have to disconnect from like a dopamine needle, from being high on it all the time. So your brain is interpreting it like, no, I don't really want to do that, like fuck it, man, like I don't want to go and trim the bloody lawn, right? So, and you start to be pissy about it, start to be like, no, mom, I don't want to do it, but then again, like in a long run, is actually useful for you. I mean, of course, it's good to help your mom anyway. Like in general, let's be good children for our parents, right? And it's not just make our parents do all the house chores on their own. We need to help them as well. But what I'm saying, that it will be beneficial for you in a long run to force yourself doing the things that you don't want to do, to fight the resistance, because like this brain will treat this action to every single aspect of your life. Because if you think that it's only going to be with the things that you that is not beneficial to you, or is only beneficial to you, no, this is wrong. It will treat the same thing it will apply the same plan everywhere, right? So if you will, every time your mom will tell you to do something you don't want to do, and you will just do it, without like being moody about it, without being pissy about it, just fight the resistance, stop doing it, and just try to have some fun in a process. Just put some headphones, listen to music, or just hum a song, or maybe, if you like, I don't know, if you, for example, if she told you to clean your room, you can still like put on like your anime and just put it on the background and clean the room while you're doing that, right? So it's just try to dig out fun from any action that you're doing in your life, right? So it's like, this is basically leads me to a couple of topics that I want to cover. So the first topic what I want to cover is the way how we train our brain to get that pleasure from journey, right? So it's basic, because like we all fall into the trap thinking that right now our life is not full of pleasure, is really sad and miserable, and I will only be happy when something will happen, right? When I will like reach to a certain level, when I will get my orders, when I will start doing commissions, when I will stop working in a coffee shop, and I will actually work full time as an artist. Only then when I will be happy. But actually, that's actually not necessarily. It could be even the other way around, right? Because like obviously you will get the first dopamine rush that you got your first job, you got the first money for your first art, and then you get hired working like in a studio, like for example as like a storyboard designer for animation studio, right? And then you will be working on a deadlines. Then you will have like every week you have to present something, every day you have to present something, right? Like on a days but you feel like not inspired, where you feel not energetic, like you feel like you cannot really keep up with the deadline, and then it will give you cortisol, stress, and then you will be even more stressed than falling behind on a coffee shop job, being stressed by being told off of your coffee shop manager, because over here is actually something that like you can say your dream job almost, and you're like falling behind, and that will make you even more upset, right? And it can happen like that, like easily, right? So it's just it doesn't mean that you shouldn't really push yourself towards this goal. It's just like it's not what I'm trying to say, that it's not necessarily the life will be like bright after reaching something. Maybe it will be still, you will be still happy, obviously, right? Because you will be doing something that you actually enjoy doing it, with all the downsides that it has, not just doing like a job that you don't want to do just for the money, but which basically leads me to telling that it's all about that process, all about the actual process of doing thing, So if you, for example, learning how to draw, you learning like me, like a digital art right now, learning traditional art, learning perspective, learning spheres and cubes and triangles and whatnot, you just try to enjoy the actual process of doing that, because like because when I was telling the story when I developed that 30-day course of doing just like geometrical figures, and at some point I was thinking like, I don't want to really do fucking cubes today, man. I don't want to do spheres, I don't want to do circles, I want to draw some anime character, but I still start doing it, and then I was kind of like kicking myself up, I was saying like, hey man, look at that, actually this one actually looks like a real circle, bro. It looks nice, man. All right. So I was, I'm honestly having fun in the process, especially like the later part of the course where we start to work on different materials. That was really fun for me, because I wasn't just drawing a sphere. I was basically trying to figure out like how a marble sphere will look like, or how a metallic sphere will look like, or how like a wooden sphere, So that was like really, really fun, and I really kind of enjoyed it. And then when I finished the course, like now, for example, I have a little bit better understanding of values, like of the geometrical figures, like simple figures like that, and I can locate them in space a bit better. Obviously 30 days was not really enough to tell me that I'm a master of it, but I do have a better understanding of it, and like do I really feel like a stronger as an artist after the 30 days? Maybe maybe not, but that's not the point. The point is that I did really enjoy the process of learning, and that's what it's all about, and you just have to basically like rewire your brain of liking the thing that you don't really like that much. And it's absolutely possible to do it that way. And so the second part, what I wanted to say about that example was your mom and telling you to trim the lawn, which is really helpful for you in the long run, trying to achieve goals as an artist, as a creator, basically even anything in life, man. Honestly, this is just a universal rule of life you can apply everywhere, right? So it's trying to do everything you do in life, trying to do 100%. Obviously trying even to enjoy it, that would be the best, and try to do it on 100%. Because like me, for example, I had this understanding of life just recently I discovered it, right? Because like all my life I was the other way around. I was just a lazy ass motherfucker, because I was basically trying to find a way of the least resistance at work. Because like I was thinking, like, you know what, like I'm working here in a pub, in a bar, in a restaurant, in a coffee shop, whatever, in a shop, and I'm, you know, this is not my dream job. I just, you know, I just do it for money. I just do it to get paid for my rent. And when I will go home, this is when I actually will do something that I actually love, right? So why would I have to spend effort on this job? I can just do whatever. I can just do, like, put some minimum effort, so my manager wouldn't fire me, you know, and I was getting away from it, right? But then what I've noticed is that I was applying the same strategy everywhere, because like I said, like I told you guys before, like your brain, it doesn't really find big differences between things that you think is important and things that you think is not important, because our brain is much more aware than what we think it is. What I mean by that is that it's living in that present moment. So for him, it's kind of like it matters what's happening right now. So and if you are treating like your workplace as just something temporary, you know, and you just don't want to put too much effort, and then you go to your house and you start learning your guitar, or like drawing your drawings, you know, then your brain will also apply the same strategy. It will also treat it as something temporary, and you will not put all the 100% effort that you could have. Trust me, you will get tired quickly, you will get annoyed quickly. The first problem you will face, you will kind of put the instrument down. You'll be like, nah, man, that's it. Let me make a break for today, because it's actually a funny thing, you know, just getting distracted again. But just like a little side note, same thing happening in dreams. You know, all the emotions that your brain is feeling during the dream sequence, it feels like a real emotions. Because, for example, I had like this period of time when I had a dream with my ex-girlfriend, dreaming about her, you know, and we actually ended relationship on like a bad note, let's say like that. It wasn't like, it was like an argument, like a big fight and everything, and then we're not talking since. And I had a dream about her, that she was in my house. It was like a sequence of dreams I had like for about a month, almost every day, dreams like that. That she was in my house and we were not talking, we were not looking at each other, you know. And I remember I was waking up, I was feeling tired, I was feeling like I just had a fight. I felt like a little anxious in me, and I was asking like my friend, the psychologist, and I said like, listen man, what's going on with this? I feel like I don't have a safe space anymore. I'll go to sleep and I'm thinking about her, and I'm not even thinking about her, I'm seeing her, and I'm feeling like it's happening in real life. And she said to me that, yeah, it's a normal thing, because your brain interprets all the events happening in your brain as a real life events. All the emotions are still real. So if you are anxious in your brain, if you feel tired in your dream, then when you wake up, you also feel tired. And I remember that it happened the same way. Like usually what I do, I wake up, I do like a set of push-ups straight away, just to, first of all, it helps me to wake up, and it's, you know, gives me like a little physical body energy boost to start the day. And I felt like I don't have energy to do the push-ups, you know, that I usually do. I just did only half of them, right? So it's because of the same principle, because my brain just basically doesn't see the difference between the real life and the dream life. And it will not see the difference between the stuff that you think is not important and the stuff that you think is actually important for the long picture. It just like sees only what you are doing today, what you are doing right now, how you are treating the action that you are doing right now. And if all the time you and brains are very, very pattern dependent. If you do something constantly, if you, for example, started to do a habit and you're doing it for a week, second week you will be still doing it, because our brains, they get used to patterns so quickly, man. That's crazy, bro. It's just like because a lot of things it has to process, a lot of information, and so if it has the chance to put some processes on automation, to run them automatically, it will use that chance all the time, right? Because in that case he can relax a little bit, and he can focus on other processes, right? So What I'm trying to say with this is basically even the job that you don't want to be doing right now, like your restaurant job, your factory job, construction, whatever, they're not like artistic job that you want to do right now. Try to treat it with the same effort that you will treat your art, right? Try to treat it as something that actually matters, as something that has value, as something that makes sense. In that case, if you will get into a habit, putting 100% of your effort to everything that you do, you will apply the same logic to your art. You will apply the same logic to your practices, and it will help you again to fight the resistances that you have to motivate yourself to get started, right? To basically to do the activity that you've been postponing, to fight the procrastination. It's like me, for example, like I'm working in a little coffee shop, and at the moment it's just like I'm alone over there. It's like a tiny little coffee truck, basically, yeah, just like a truck, with like a food truck, but just with coffee and snacks, and that's it, just to simplify it, right? So I'm alone, I'm on my own over there, right? So and for me, what I started to do, because I'm actually really into like esoterics, really into like magic and alchemy and tarot and all this kind of stuff. So but that's another day's topic. I just wanna bring it as an example. So what I wanted to say is that I started to treat my little truck, my little coffee place, as the little alchemical laboratory. So every time I had an order of the coffee, I treat it like, okay, so now I'm making like a potion for this person, right? To make him, to give him good energy for the rest of the day. So and I was going through all the alchemical process inside my mind, like calcination, coagulation, and all that stuff. So okay, I was basically trying to do, not to skip any of the unimportant, how I was thinking before, processes, to do everything properly, to clean everything when it needs to be clean, not to be lazy, not to skip nothing, right? Every time I was doing a latte art, I was trying to make a perfect latte art, which actually for me, for an artist, is the best part of the job. That's why I kind of enjoy working in a coffee place, because I can work on my own latte art designs, and in a way it's a bit creative profession also out of those professions I was working all the time. So I was trying to put like my own sigil, my own pentagram in a way, my own like alchemical magical sigil of it. And then when I'm closing the lid of a takeaway cup, I'm kind of like putting a seal of warlock, seal of approval. And then I'm just blessing it. I'm wishing like a person a nice day in my head. I'm blessing it in my head, and then I bless it with my words. I give it to a person. I feel happy. I feel good. We are sharing both like this good vibe. We're talking about something. I try to keep up the positive atmosphere. Try to joke. Try to be funny. And we're both having a nice day. I feel like, after I start doing this, I'm doing that like relatively recently, just like less than a year I do this strategy. And I can see the changes that it gives me, I feel like, man, I'm actually doing something that matters, right? I'm not just staying there, just doing the job that I hate, feeling like being useless or something, right? I feel like I'm doing something that actually brings me joy also. And I've noticed how it's actually changing the way that I perceive like everything else in life, So I start to finish stuff more often that I didn't finish before. I start to fight with the challenges before. For example, I would just give up, If I will face some kind of difficulty, I will find power inside myself to fight with it, because I can apply the same 100% that I was applying at work. I can apply it at home also, and I kind of rewired my brain to think that everything I do is just have to be done perfectly, just have to be done properly, and maybe actually, and that's a little trap that I put myself into. That's another topic that I wanted to mention. Is not perfectly, no, not perfect, because when you don't want to be chasing perfectionism, right? But properly, right, as according to your own standards. Because like perfectionism can be misleading also. Like obviously it is really nice to improve on yourself, it's nice to make things as good as possible, but like the actual perfectionism can make you can make you slow down. If you will, for example, if you are working on a client's order, right, and you have just only one order and you have like unlimited amount of time, or like quite a lot of time, then obviously it is better to make it as perfect as possible, yeah. But if you have like a lot of different other orders and you're trying to just polish this order as much as you can, and that takes away the time from the other people's orders, then that's not gonna do you a good thing. If you're practicing, for example, and you're working like on one model, like you do figure drawing, for example, and you know that you have like 1 hour of practice today, and you can do, for example, like 5 or 10 models for this 1 hour, if you just don't put like too much dedicate too much time on it, you know. But if you will just like try to polish one model as much as you can, you spend like half an hour on it, so you just only do like only 2 models a day, which basically, yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, maybe it will be just your workflow, right? Maybe you will manage to get away from it, because at the end of the day, right now we're living in this kind of like digital era where you not necessarily have to be like a factory production artist, right? Because this is what all of us artists are afraid, you know, to be like sucked into this conveyor industry, you know. It's like me, I really like reading mangas, like Japanese mangas. I think they are just something else, you know. Comic books, I love comic books, but mangas, I just love them a little bit more, you know. But like life as a mangaka in Japan, working in a big studio is quite stressful, man. It's like they have really harsh deadlines over there, because they produce popular volumes like every week, you know. And you cannot really you cannot be late, you know. You cannot be sick. You cannot like you have to do overtimes. You have to stay late or something. So at some point you will get like, you feel like you get imprisoned by your career. So it probably will be a good experience for you anyway, in general, you know, to work in a professional studio, because you will interact with other artists, you will interact with a publisher, you will interact with all the other aspects of the business. You will know how it works from the head to toes, right? But like I think, like, as for most artists, the end goal will be to do something to do like your own little project, right? So if you in particular want to be a mangaka these days, like, you don't even need to be published, right, by a publisher. You can just like do online publishing. Maybe you can even make your own site. Maybe you can do like a little Instagram or TikTok videos, or maybe you can like create like a little Shopify page and sell it online, you know. Like, obviously it's going to be really difficult to get started like that, to get people's attention, you know, but it's actually sounds like a possibility, right, with the right mindset and right dedication of time. But I would say most of us, in order to get started, in order to get experienced, right, it's kind of like more or less still needs to work on the speed, needs to work on the time frame, you know, because like a lot of time, especially like, for example, during the days where we are still doing our day jobs, right? Because like me, for example, I received like a commission work from a friend of mine to work on his cover for his musical album, right? And that was like, he had like the idea and everything, so we developed the project together, and then I was working on it, right? And then I felt like, because he didn't really give me like a deadline, that was, you know, easy mode for me in a way, but I knew that, you know, I have to make it as good as I can possibly can, right? And he wanted to make it like in a particular style, which required like a lot lot of attention to details. Yeah, and I was still working at the time, and then I was coming back from home. I was doing all my routines. I was eating, I was cleaning, I was cooking, I was meditating and everything. And then I wanna have some time. I wanna play my video game. I wanna maybe just take my guitar, just play guitar a little bit, just to unwind. Just go out and drive or just walk around. Maybe I just wanted to, even talking about drawing, I just wanted to draw some fucking characters that I have. But I had to work on the project, and then there was still like a deadline. He just luckily he just told me like a couple of months before he wanted to release his album. But then like when I was taking my time, it took me like more than a month to finish it, and this is like outrageous amount of time that nobody should take as much. He was just like asking me like politely, like, so bro, what's going on? Like, you have any progress or something? I was sending him some images, and then. And I think I didn't really thought about it, that maybe he's not gonna like the stuff that I did. Maybe he wants me to change something, right? So I have to like speed it up a little bit. So and then that's why it kind of took us like more than 1 month to finish it together. And what I learned from this process is that you have to be organized. You have to be like not just organized, but learn time management. You need to not only learn how to draw good, but to learn how to do it fast. So you need to be good and you need to be fast. So this is why it's really important, like to get organized properly, to get yourself into like a certain routines, to learn to teach your brain to treat everything that you do as 100% activity, 100% effort activity. So it will not slack off, so it will be always ready for action. So it will be like it will be always ready to conquer obstacles that you will face on your way. And if you are learning something like pretty much any creative specialty these days, there is like way too many things out there that you have no idea that they exist even right now, unless you will face them, unless you will actually. But it's like even talking about this kind of example, because like it wasn't really this particular, it was the other commission, the first commission that I had in my life. It was also a friend of mine actually. So I was working on like a little logo for it. It just has to be. It wasn't even like that much artistic. It was mostly like a text. It was just like a little logo, like a character. And what I learned from this interaction is that they will reject a lot of stuff that you offer, because you have like a certain vision that looks good. They have a certain other vision that looks good, and then they can conflict. And I remember at some point I was even getting pissed off. I was getting mental. I was getting like, man, it's like, fucking, I don't even know if I want to do this full time, bro. Because it's like, if I will make a coffee at work, right, and I will serve you a coffee, like even if you don't really like the way how my latte art looks, you will still fucking drink it. You will, you'll be like, yeah, that's alright, over here, I can draw you like the best art that I have ever done in my entire life, and you will say to me like, man, that's not really what I'm looking for right now, bro. It's actually something, I actually need something else, and that can play with your feelings also. That can be really hurtful. But this is like a conversation of another day. I just wanted to mention that, yeah, it's like one of those like things that I didn't even think about. I have to worry about when I was doing art, right? And this is just one of the thousands. There is so many. There's like an iceberg, like the iceberg meme, it goes deeper than that, man. It goes way deeper. That's why they say there is this learning curve. Like, what's the name? Dunning-Kruger, I think it's called Dunning-Kruger learning curve. That first, when you start learning something, you feel like you know everything about it. Like, man, that's a piece of cake. All I have to do is just fucking draw some fucking anime characters. That's it, man. I'm watching anime all the time. I can crack it. I used to be drawing like all my life. As a kid when I was studying in school, I didn't pay attention to what the teachers said that much. I don't even know how I managed to graduate the school properly, to be honest. I was just drawing all the time, I was thinking, yeah, that's not that difficult, I can never just like sit and stare at the empty page and say like, I don't know what to draw, man. I will just start drawing something, something will come up. But as a kid, of course, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't have any books about art. Like right now, half of my fucking bookshelf is art-related books. I have like anatomy book, perspective book, rendering, like so many, man. So, and it's like every time I buy the book, I kind of go deeper to that to the bottom of that curve to find out, like, man, there are so many things I don't know about this profession, and it's kind of like inspiring and scary both at the same time. And that you feel like, man, can I actually like learn all of this information? That's crazy. So yeah, man. So yeah, just basically. I think we're just gonna slow it down for today because it's been already a quite long episode, right, or whatever you want to call it. Let's call it an episode. Yeah, let's treat it as a podcast. So in general, what I wanted to summarize it is just fight the resistance by doing it, man. Create the motivation by starting the action, and then during the action the motivation will come. The more you start doing the action that you don't really want to do, the better, the easier it is the next time, because obviously it can apply to everything, but especially to the stuff that is good for you in the long run, because it's kind of like easier to motivate you in a way. At least that, man, I'm doing it for myself. I don't want to be stealing like a future from myself by getting this cheap unearned dopamine that I'm having right now by scrolling Instagram, right? Because like the best achievements, the best emotions we have from actually working towards something, from achieving something, from putting some effort, from dedicating some time into it. If something is just handed to us just like that, you're not even gonna appreciate it that much, And this is not what we want to be. We want to be in a different mindset. If you wanna reach towards our goals, right? And then just like our brains are so flexible, like a Play-Doh in a way, like a clay, so we can just shape everything that we want from them. And if we can teach ourselves to love the actual process of learning, to love the actual obstacles, the actual hard parts of getting there. And then we can even like spike our dopamine at some point during the production period, not when the production is over and we receive the feedback, even though if it's like going to be a positive feedback and everything, right? So it's we just kind of just rely only on that, and we just kind of like expect to be always like happy days and happy positivity all the time. There's going to be dark days, there's going to be sad days, and you need to be pushing yourself. You just need to be getting started. So yeah, guys. All right, thank you so much one more time for listening to today. So just don't wait for the good day. Just don't wait for the motivation. Just take that page, take that pencil, start doing something, and then trust me, the resistance will fade away after some time. So yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say. I hope you guys find it enjoyable, find it more or less fun, interesting, me talking about those things. I'm not an expert in any way of what I just said. I just wanted to share my point of view on the matter, and I really hope that together we can achieve our dreams. And stay tuned with me if you like this content. I'm going to be releasing content like that more, just my thoughts on different topics of life related to art or related to psychology or related to whatever, whatever, just basically my thought process. Yep, nice one. All right, thank you so much, my boy. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon.